It's my safety, no. And morning song.
Good morning, so excellent.
So, and then they wanted him to actually turn on the gas and put it in his name before I started. And he was like, oh, well, that's going to take it. It's like, he knew. Oh, but you know what I mean? It's like,
these details.
these details, and for my protection, I can't complain.
No, just do it
The
already.
inspectors also don't come out but every once a week. They'll schedule for each place. So, I'm not worried. I'm just
Anxious to
I'm tired of living out of my car.
it's
Other people's charity and kindness. And it's just like, sorry.
Good morning, Shabbat Shalom.
Yes. Shabbat.
It's good Shabbat
And
is here.
tomorrow's Mother's Day, so I can be out of sight.
You going to visit your mom?
Yeah. She will think I'm her sister, but that's all good.
Well, hey.
Yeah, do you have children, Rachel?
Oh, no, I wish,
Oh, okay.
but anybody want to loan me a few? I'll adopt. I think I need lessons in mothering.
They'll teach you fast.
I know. I mean, I've been around kids for the last 7 years.
Okay. Matovu ohalecha Yaakov. How good are your tents, O Jacob? Including this tent right here. Page 61.
A tent over my head.
Yep, that's right.
Absolutely.
I'm serious.
Absolutely.
I mean, slightly being silly, but tents are lovely things.
Matovu ohalecha Yaakov mishkenotecha Yisrael. Adonai, I love your house, the place of your glory. Before my Maker, I humbly bow in worship. May this be an auspicious time, Adonai, for my prayer. Your love, O God, is great. Answer me with your true deliverance. Va'ani tefilati lech Adonai et ratzon Elohim berov chastecha Aneni be'emet ishecha. Page 63, second paragraph. Elohai neshama Hashem natata bi tehorahi. Elohai neshama Hashem natata bi tehorahi. Elohai neshama Hashem natata bi tehorahi. הנשמה וקיבי, מודה אני לפניך, אדוני אלוהי ואלוהי אבותיי, ריבון כל המעשים, אדון כל הנשמות. ברוך אתה אדוני, המחזיר נשמות, נפגעים מתים. Page 65. I don't know why, but I think maybe because I had a cold for the last week, just more aware of issues of health. Mm-hmm. And I guess when there's not health, then when we think about gratitude for having health. Mm-hmm. And so that's what I'm grateful for this morning. Just when our bodies do work right. It's amazing. I mean, I was just thinking about just the act of eating. Being able to identify a piece of food, being able to direct our hands to go to that. Somehow, all the processes that have to go on in our brain and our muscles to get that food from the fork or the spoon somehow into our mouth, right? And then all the crazy chemistry and stuff that goes on in our body for that food, the energy within that food, the life-giving force to get in that food, to somehow enable us to function for X amount of time. It's amazing. So anyway, that's what I'm feeling grateful for this morning. If anyone has anything that's on your mind that you want to share publicly, feel free. If not, no problem.
Go ahead.
No,
please.
Started speaking first.
Go.
Please, I'm so tired of taking orders, but I'm grateful to have direction. No, I'm grateful that there are a number of kind people in this synagogue who have allowed me to stay with them for a night here. And so I'm not burdening anybody. And also for not only for remembering to eat, I was getting, your mental health has to be there too, it's all part of the same thing.
Yeah.
And if you're so stressed that you can't remember that you're not eating.
Yeah.
Serious. And then you realize, that's why I'm feeling a little dizzy. It's like, well, did you drink water today? No. Did you take your meds? Oh my God, yes, third day. Oh my goodness. And you're not trying to do that. If you get overly stressed, it manifests in such ways. And I am just so grateful for being allowed, given the intelligence to pull myself back from the brink. But it's not without a little help from my friends. A lot of help. So I am more grateful than probably ever have been. And to be here, to know that we come here for Shabbat. So,
Amen. Thank you for sharing.
Well, in addition, I'm grateful for your courage to ask for help, because I think it takes amazing strength and courage to ask. So I'm going to add that to mine.
Okay.
And I am so deeply grateful for the body's capacity to heal. Because, as you know, 2.5 weeks ago, I had an incident, not serious, where I passed out and was pretty beat up from falling. And I am so grateful for my body's capacity to heal.
Amen. Wonderful. Thank you for sharing. It makes it's nice to be able to be in touch with our own thing and to hear other people's too. It's wonderful. And let's see what else the tradition has put in the book for us too. Baruch atah 65. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan sechli bina lahavchin ben yom uvein laila. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani b'tzalmo. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani ben chorim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam pokeach ivrim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam malbish arumim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam matir asurim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam zokei gefufim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam rokach haaretz al hamayim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asa li kol tzorki. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamechin mitzadei gaver. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam ozer Yisrael b'gvura. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam oter Yisrael b'tifara. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hanoten ha'ya'ef koach. And on the same page 65, 6 lines up from the bottom on the English side, let's read together. Strengthen our desire to do good deeds. Teach us humility that we may serve you. May we find grace, love, and compassion in your sight and in the sight of all who look upon us this day and every day. Grant us a full measure of loving kindness. Praised are you, Adonai, who bestows loving kindness upon God's people, Israel. Page 83. Baruch she'amar v'haya olam. Baruch hu. Baruch oseh b'reshit. Baruch omer v'oseh. Baruch gozer u'mekayem. Baruch merachem al haaretz. Baruch merachem al habriot. Baruch meshalem sachar tov lire'av. Baruch chaylav v'kayam lanetzach. Baruch podeh u'matzil. Baruch shemo. Yachid che'olamim melech meshubach u'mefo'ar adei ad shemo hagadol. Baruch atah Adonai melech mehulal hatishbacho. And let's go to page 87 in the middle of the page where we get the single lines. Torah Adonai T'mimah, Torah Adonai T'mimah, Torah Adonai T'mimah, Meshiva Nesamchei lev mitzvat Adonai Tara Meirat Einayim Yirat Adonai Torah Yirat Adonai Torah Yirat Adonai Torah Omedet La'ad Mishpetei Adonai Emet Tzadku Two questions for you this morning. First one is, what's the difference between ignorance and apathy? The answer? I don't know and I don't care. The second question is, who is the person who wishes to live a long life? A full life, seeing goodness in their life? The answer is on page 88 in the middle. Sorry, I have this book in our bathroom of funny one-liners.
We're glad you do.
I was really starting to.
I know, I can hear you. Sorry, I have some cold, so that's making things worse.
Do you need some water?
Thank you. No.
Okay.
I don't think so. Mi ha'ish hafetz chayim ohed yamim v'yotov netzor l'shon chamera usvatecha mitchaper birma surneya baseito Bakei shalom v'ratehu mi ha'ish hafetz chayim Midhaber mirma 94. A song for Shabbat. Mizmor shir le'yom HaShabbat, tov le'hodot Adonai, u'zamer l'shimcha elyon, u'zamer l'shimcha elyon, le'hagid b'boker chastecha, ve'emunatcha b'leilot, alei asor b'aleina, ve'alei higayon b'chinor, mizmor shir le'yom HaShabbat, tov le'hodot Adonai, u'zamer l'shimcha elyon, u'zamer l'shimcha elyon, ki simachtani Adonai befoalecha, b'maaseh yadecha ranin, magalu maasecha Adonai me'od amkum ashivotecha, mizmor shir le'yom HaShabbat, tov le'hodot Adonai, u'zamer l'shimcha elyon, u'zamer l'shimcha elyon. Page 100. In the middle of the page. Hallelujah, 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 el bekocho, hallelujah, birki ahuzo, hallelujah, vigurotav, hallelujah, kerov kulo, hallelujah, 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 b'teka shofar, hallelujah, b'nevel v'tinor, hallelujah, b'tof u'machor, hallelujah, b'min v'mukar, hallelujah, 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 b'tzil tlei shama, hallelujah, b'tzil tlei truah, hakol hanshama, til hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Page 104. Adonai Eloheinu. You stir the sleeping, give voice to the speechless, free the fettered, support the falling, and raise those bound, bow down. You alone do we acknowledge. Let's continue on 105 in the middle. Shochen ad maharom v'kadosh shemo. Yochaytim bronim v'tzakim Adonai v'asharim v'chativa. Befi yesharim titala u'divrei tzadikim titbarach u'b'shon chasidim titramam ובקרב קדושים תקדש ומקלות רבבות עמך בית ישראל. בעיני פרשתך כן וכל דברך שכן חובת כל היצורים לפניך אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו להודות להלל, לשבח, לפאר, לרומם, להדר, לברך, לעלה וקלס, על כל דברי שירות ותשבחות, דוד בן ישי, עבדך משיחך, page 106, ישתבח שמך ברכות והודעות מעתה ועד עולם. ברוך אתה אדוני אל מלך גדול ותשבחו, אל ההודעות אדון הנפלאות, הבוחר בשירי זמרה, מלך אלוהי העולמים. Which leads us to the word for the day. If we look at the page 105, the last sentence, it's talking about all the wonderful words of praise that David, who is ascribed to have written the Psalms, has written for God. And so I'll call the Reshirot v'Tishbachot for all the words of the songs and the praises that David ben Yishai, David, the son of Yishai, Avdecha Meshichecha, who is your servant and your anointed one, or your Mashiach is also Rabbi, Messiah. So from David the Messiah will come. But the word I'm looking for today is Avdecha, your servant. Or Eved is servant, Avdecha, your servant. Eved is the word for the day. It means servant, it means slave, it means someone who obeyed, someone who works for someone, or works. So Eved, Avdecha, worker, slave, servant. And even King David, who is the anointed one, and who wrote all these things, is also an Eved. Right? Avdecha Meshichecha. Duly noted, let's keep that in mind as we continue with the service. Page 108. El Adon al kol ha'masim baruch u'barach befi kol neshama galo v'tuvo malei olam da'at u'tvuna so v'dimoto ha'mikai achayot ha'kodesh v'nedar b'chavod al ha'merkava zechut u'mishor lifnei chiso chesed v'rachamim lifnei kvodo hotovim be'ora shebara Eloheinu yitzaram b'da'at b'bina u'paskel koach u'pura המססים בבואם, עושים בהמה רצון קונם, פאר וכבוד נותנים לשמות צלה ברינה לזכר מלכותו, קרא לשמש ויזרח אורה והקים צורת הלבנה, שבחנו לינו קוצר למרום, תפארת וגדולה צרפים באופנים בחיות הקודש, ינאי לי Page 109, the top paragraph. To God, who completed the work of creation on the seventh day and ascended God's glorious throne, God robed the day of rest and beauty, calling Shabbat a delight. God ceased all God's labors on Shabbat. That is his distinction. The seventh day itself hymns praise to God. A song for Shabbat. It is good to acclaim Adonai. Tiparach Moshe Rosh Shevach Maaseh Yadecha V'Me'orei Or She'asita Yifaru Chasera. Even God works. God creates, right? But God also rests. Page 110. Titbarach Tzureinu Hokenu V'Go Aleinu Borei Kedoshim Yishtabach Shem Hashem Hokenu Tzvei Hashem Shabbat Yachad B'Chol Yivim 3.5 lines down from the top. Kulam ahuvim, kulam berurim, kulam giborim, v'kulam osim be'ema u'mira ritzon kolam, v'kulam potchim et pihem b'kedusha u'b'tahara, b'shira u'b'zimra, u'mevarchim u'meshavachim, u'mefa'arim u'ma'aritzim, u'makdishim u'mamlichim. Et Shem Ha'el HaMelech HaGadol HaGibor V'Hanora Kadosh Hu V'chulam Mekablim Aleihem Ol Malchut Shamayim Zeh Mizeh V'nonim Reshut Zeh Lazeh V'hakdish Liyotzram B'nachat Ruach V'safav Ruach V'nimak Rosha Kulam Kechad Onim Ve'omrim Ve'yirah Kadosh, Kadosh, Kadosh Adonai Tzvaot Meloch Haaretz Kevod V'ofanim V'chayot HaKodesh Bera'ash Gadol Minasim U'matzrafim V'umatam V'shabchim V'omrim Baruch Kevod Adonai V'imkomo Ve'el Baruch Ne'imot Yiteinu L'Melech El Chai V'Kayam Zmirot Yom Heru V'tishpachot Yashmiu Kihu Levato Po'el Gevurot Os tzedakot, matzmiach yeshuot, borei refuot, norah tehilot, Adonai niflaot, hamechadesh b'tuvo b'chol yom tamid, Maaseh Bereshit, Kamor le'oseh orim dolim, ki le'olam chaso, or chadash al Zion ta'ir, b'nizkehu lanu mehela le'oro, Adonai Yotzer Ahava Rabbah, Ahavtanu, you have loved us with a great love. This might be a nice moment just to think about maybe the last week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, just some caring acts and loving act that has been directed towards us that we appreciate. Or maybe just some caring, loving act that we've been able to do in the last 2 or 3 weeks. That we're glad we were able to do it.
You know, if you go to the microphone, I don't hear you.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm losing my hearing.
No, okay.
I don't know what you're saying.
Yeah, we'll do. Just saying, as we start Ahava Rabbah, to try to think of either a loving act that's been directed to us, or that we've been able to direct to someone else as a kavanah for this prayer. בכל עם ולשון, וקרבתנו לשמך הגדול, סלע בארץ, להודות לך ולייחדך ולייחדך באהבה. ברוך אדוני הבוחר בעמו ישראל באהבה. שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם מאוד על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, ופקדתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. והים שבוע תשמעו. ושמו קיים וחיסון נכון ומלכותו ואמונתו לעד קיימת. Page 113, the last 4 lines. אמת שאתה הוא אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו מלכנו מלך אבותינו גואלנו גואל אבותינו יוצרנו צור ישועתנו הודנו מצילנו מעולם שמך אין אלוהים זולתך עזרת אבותינו אתה הוא לעולם. You know, we haven't done also in a long time. Page 114. I think it's 9 lines down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No. 10 lines down. 5 words in, a call and response, and then we'll go into the Micha Mocha, and then we'll go into the Amidah. And this prayer that reminds us that God humbles the proud, raises the lowly, frees the captive, and redeems the meek. God helps the needy and answers our call. Azot, 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 shibechu ahuvim, shibechu ahuvim, ve'romemu, 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 el, ve'romemu, 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 el, ve'natenu, ve'natenu yedidim, ve'natenu, ve'natenu yedidim. Smirot, shirot, v'tishbachot, smirot, shirot, v'tishbachot, berachot, v'hodaot, berachot, v'hodaot, lamelech el chai v'kayam, lamelech el chai v'kayam, ram v'nisa, ram v'nisa, gadol v'nora, gadol v'nora, mashpil ge'im umagbi hashifalim, mashpil ge'im umagbi hashifalim, motzi asirim, ufode anavim, ve'ozer dalim, ve'ozer dalim, ve'oner le'amo Yisrael, ve'ed shalom elav, ve'oner le'amo Yisrael, ve'ed shalom elav. Tehilot, tehilot, le'el elyon, le'el elyon, baruch hu umevorach, baruch hu umevorach. Page 14. Moshe v'nei Yisrael l'chanu shira b'simcha ravav yamru chulam mi chamocha v'elim Adonai mi chamocha nedor b'kodesh mehorat tehilot Shira charasha shirchu gilim v'shimcha asfat hayam yachad kulam hodu v'himlichu ve'amru Adonai imoch le'olam va'ed Sur Yisrael kuma be'ezrat Yisrael uv'deichinu mecha Yehuda ve'Yisrael Go aleinu Adonai tzor shemo Kedosh Yisrael Baruch Adonai God Yisrael. 115b. Mashiach Tzidkecha. Imloch Adonai Olam, Elohai Yisrael, Ledor Vador, Hallelujah. Ledor Vador, Ledor Vador, Ledor Vador, Ledor Vador, Ledor Vador, Nagidol Lecha. Ledor Vador, Ledor Vador, Ledor Vador, Ledor Vador, Ledor Vador, Nagidol Lecha. Ulenetzach netzachim, kedushatecha nakdish, kedushatecha nakdish. V'shivchacha Eloheinu, mihibinu lo yamush, le'olam le'olam ba'ed. Ledor Vador, Ledor Vador, Ledor Vador, Ledor Vador, Ledor Vador, Nagidol Lecha. Ledor Vador, Ledor Vador, Ledor Vador, Ledor Vador, Ledor Vador, Nagidol Lecha. Ki HaMelech Gadol, Gadol v'Kadosh, Gadol v'Kadosh Ata. Ki HaMelech Gadol, Gadol v'Kadosh, Gadol v'Kadosh Ata. Baruch atah Ha'el HaKadosh. 117. Yismach Moshe Ma'ana, Yismach Moshe Ma'ana, Yismach Moshe Ma'ana, Le'mana Chelo. Ki Even Eman, Ki Even Eman, Karata Lo. Keli Tiferet, Keli Tiferet, V'Rosh Hashanah. Yismach Moshe Ma'ana, Yismach Moshe Ma'ana, Yismach Moshe Ma'ana, V'mana Chelo. Ve'omdo lefanecha, ve'omdo lefanecha, al har Sinai. U'shnei luchot habanim, u'shnei luchot habanim, horid beyado. Yismach Moshe Ma'ana, Yismach Moshe Ma'ana, Yismach Moshe Ma'ana, V'mana Chelo. V'chatu b'hem, v'chatu V'yikadash Shemei Rabba. Yamadim Rachirtei V'yamich Malchutei B'chayechon V'yamechon V'chayei Nechol Beit Yisrael B'agala V'zman Kari V'yimeru. Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabba Mevorach V'yalam L'amei Amaya Yitbarach Yitbarach V'ishtabach V'par V'yirma Minaseh V'tatar V'taleh V'tolach Shmei L'kurusha Ve'ela Mikol B'chata V'shirata Tishbechata V'nechemata Da'amiran Ba'alma V'yimeru. Amen. Tikabal Sultan V'oton Chol Yisrael Kadama V'hon V'shmaya V'yimeru. Amen. Yehei Shlomo Rabba bin Shemaya V'chaim Aleinu V'kol Yisrael V'yimeru. Amen. Oseh Shalom B'mrama U'yaseh Shalom Aleinu V'kol Yisrael V'yimeru. Amen. Oseh Shalom B'mrama U'yaseh Shalom Aleinu V'kol Yisrael V'imru. Amen. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu V'kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu V'kol Yisrael. Did anyone happen to notice our word for the day in the silent Avida? First of all, the word for the day, for those who may not yet know, is Eved. Eved, which means slave or servant. And we saw that earlier in the service, Eved referred to King David. And who else is called an Eved?
Eved, right?
Eved.
Eved.
Yeah. If you look on page 117, Yismach Moshe b'matnat chelko. May Moses rejoice in his portion that was allotted to him, the gift of his inheritance, his portion. Ki Eved Ne'eman Karatalo. Because you, God, have called him a faithful servant. Eved. So we got right up there with the servants or the slaves are David and Moses. Just to know. Okay. Let's continue. Page 139. Cindy, I know you know how to do this part of the service. Does anyone else know how to, who's not yet come forward and reveal themselves to me? No? Anyone know how to lead it? No? Yes? No? Okay.
But I can't sing it.
Want to do it together?
I'm going to throw you way off.
No, you won't. All right, go for it.
Okay, good.
Great, you go for it. Let's do it.
Bonnie can do it.
No, you guys are the 18th.
Let's do the
Bonnie's cleanup.
Clean, yeah, you can be the
She does the page 139.
I apologize in advance.
Let's stand as we prepare to open the arms.
Ein kamocha b'alim Adonai, v'yein kamasecha malchutecha malchut kol olamim, u'menshaltecha b'chol dor v'dor. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai So Aharon vayomer Moshe Hu Adonai v'yafutzu oivecha v'yanusu misanecha mipanecha Ki mitzion tetzei Torah Ki mitzion tetzei Torah u'devar Adonai mirushalayim Baruch shenatan Torah Torah Baruch shenatan Torah Torah Li'amo Yisrael b'kedushato.
Page 140, the 6th line.
Ve'anaraches ve'lish me'kadisha kadisha yakira ana emartu shpecha ve'anaraches ve'anaraches ve'lish me'kadisha kadisha yakira ana emartu shpecha Yehera Adama Detivta Libi Biorata Betashli Mishali Delibi Beliba Dechalamach Yisrael Letal Chaim Velishlam Amen.
Page 141.
I'll be that person.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
That's some ruach, please.
Echad Eloheinu Gadol Adonenu Kadosh Shemo Echad Eloheinu Gadol Adonenu Kadosh Shemo Galu Adonai iti u'viromim hashemo yachdav Adonai yagidu lav yagivura v'hatiferet v'hanetzach v'hahod ki kol hashamayim u'ba'aretz ki kol hashamayim u'ba'aretz Adonai among b'chai v'yinaseh l'kol rosh Ramenu Adonai Eloheinu v'yishachavu l'chadom raglav nadoshu Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'yishachavu
Let's be seated. And the Torah portion for this morning can be found on page 744, verse 39.
No. I'm not doing that. Thank you.
ויעזור ילגים ישי לכל החסים בו ונאמר אמן כל המוגן עלינו דוכבון לתורה.
Talmud, Shana Bat Yitzchak HaKohen, Bonnie can
Short. Thanks. Baruch Hu Adonai Baruch.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam Vaed. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'omim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Ata Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. וכי ימוך אחיך עמך ונמכר לך לא תעבוד בו עבודת עבד כשכיר כתושב יהיה עמך עד שנת היובל יעבוד עמך ויצא מעמך הוא ובניו עמו ושב אל משפחתו ואל אחוזת אבותיו ישוב.
Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch Ata Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Lisa, are you okay? Talmud, Nitza Bat Menachem Halevi Uvadia.
Oh yes, I am. You're right, Neil. I'm sorry. I wasn't thinking.
Page 744, line 42.
Thank you, Rio.
ברכו את אדוני המבורך.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam Vaed.
ברוך אדוני המבורך. ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר בחר בנו מכל העמים ונתן לנו את תורתו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen.
כי עבדי הם אשר הוצאתי אותם מארץ מצרים לא ימכרו ממכרת עבד לא תרדה בו בפרך ויראת מאלוהיך ועבדך ואמתך אשר יהיו לך מאת הגויים אשר סביבותיכם מהם תקנו עבד ואמה.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת וחיי עולם נטע בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
אמן.
Amen. Talmud Shlishi, Adaya Bat Ruvain Berivka.
On page 744, line 46.
Do we have a Mishabela
For what?
for a successful thesis acceptance.
College graduate. College
Graduation.
graduate.
We'll work on that. We'll work on that.
Anytime.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Bachar Banu Michol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu Et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. וגם לבני התושבים הגרים עמכם מהם תקנו וממשפחותם אשר עמהם אשר הולידו בארצכם והיו לכם לאחוזה ונחלתם אותם לבניכם אחריכם לרשת אחוזה לעולם בהם תעבודו ואחיכם בני ישראל איש באחיו לא תרדבו בפרך וכי תשיא יד גר ותושב עמך ומך אחיך עמו ונמכר לגר תושב עמך או לעקר משפחת גר.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Natan Lanu Torat Emet V'chayei Olam Nota B'tochenu Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. מי שברך אבותינו אברהם יצחק ויעקב אמותינו שרה רבקה רחל ולאה הוא יברך את הסטודנטית המאומת שהצליחה בלימודיה וסיימה את כל הלימודים שלה בהצטיינות רבה. המקום יברך אותה בכל מעשה ידיה וחברים כל ישראל ונאמר
Simen Tov and Mazel Tov and Mazel Tov and Simen Tov, Simen Tov and Mazel Tov and Mazel Tov and Simen Tov, Simen Tov and Mazel Tov and Mazel Tov and Simen Tov.
And she's going to bring 10 more Mount Holyoke students.
At least. And then off to our American princess.
Yamud Revi'i Rachel Bat Sarah Bat Abraham Basar.
We're on page 745, line 48.
Adonai Hambarach. Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, ונתן לנו את תורתו, ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
אמן. אחרי נמכר גאולה תהיה לו, אחד מאחיו יגלנו, או דודו, או בן דודו יגלנו, או מי שאר בשרו, ממשפחתו יגלנו, או השיגה ידו וניגל, וחישב עם קונהו משנת הימכרו לו עד שנת היובל, והיה כסף ממכרו במספר שנים, כימי שכיר יהיה עמו.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת, וחיי עולם נטל בדורנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen. And let's do a Mishaberach for healing. Mishaberach Avotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah Hu Yivarech v'Yirapeh et
Robert Carlin, Deb Austin, Hal Harris, Shirley Henderson, and two good friends.
וכל החולים קהילה קדושה זאת הקדוש ברוך הוא ימלא רחמים עליהם להחזיקם ולרפאותם וישלח להם מהרה רפואה שלמה מן השמיים, רפואת הנפש ורפואת הגוף ותוך שאר חולי ישראל שבתים מניזוק ורפואה קרבה לבוא השדה בגלה בזמן קריב ונאמר May the one who bless our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bring blessing and healing to all those who are ill within our congregational family. May they be blessed with a full and complete healing, a healing of spirit and a healing of body, together with all those who are ill among the Jewish people and among the world. May those who will not be healed on this earth be blessed with nights free from suffering and days filled with peace. May God grant strength and comfort to those who care for the sick. May God help us to find hope and courage as we face fear and loss. May all those who are ill be surrounded by the love of their friends, their loving companions, their families, and their community. And let us say,
Amen.
who's good? 51, that would be Hamishi.
Tamud Devorachana Bat Barucha Abram.
We're on page 745, line 51.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam
Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et torto. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Chapter 50.
No, you're right.
Oh. I kept looking at it. Okay.
Yeah. 151.
Im od rabot השנים לפניהן יש להשיב גאולתו מכסף מגנתו ואם מעט נשאר להכיר שנה בשנה יהיה עמו לא ירדנו בפרך לא ירדנו בפרך להינך 53, do we have one more?
You told me the
That's
end
right,
of
that's good,
53.
that's good, we're good. Yep, we're good.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nota b'tochenu Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Yamod Shishi, Michael ben Noach v'Rachaleah.
Baruch hu et her.
No, go ahead. I'm done.
Baruch hu et her noim barach.
Baruch
Olam va'ed.
Baruch her noim barach v'olam v'ed. Baruch ator noim Eloheinu melech haolam asher bocha borna mikol ha'amim v'nosan lanu es shorsho. Baruch ator noim noten haTorah.
Amen. V'im lo yigael ba'ele v'yatza b'shnat hayabel hu uvanav imo ki li b'nei Yisrael avadim avadai hem asher hotzeti otam me'eretz Mitzrayim ani Adonai Elohechem lo ta'asu lachem Elivim ufesel umatzeva lo takimu lachem ve'eben maskid lo tibnu ba'artzachem vishtachavot aleha ki ani Adonai Elohechem et shabtotai tishmoru umikdashi tila'u ani
Baruch ator noim Eloheinu melech haolam asher nosan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam notan b'tochenu. Baruch ator noim noten haTorah.
Amen.
Michael, if you put Gabbai. God.
We're on page 747, line 3. Are we those who
Tamod Shabi'i, Bela bat Golda v'Hershon.
Baruch hu. Oh. Whoops. Baruch hu et Adonai Hamloha.
Baruch Adonai Hamloha.
Baruch Adonai Hamloach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Im bechukotai telechu et mitzvotai tishmeru v'asitem otam v'natati gishmechem v'itam v'natna ha'aretz yibola v'etz hasadeh yitain piryo v'esig lachem dayish et batzir u'batzir yasig et zara v'achaltem lachmechem ואכלתם לחמכם לשובע, וישבתם לבטח בארצכם.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan וחיי עולם אתה בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה.
Amen.
ויאמר דברך ירותי וימליך מלכותי.
Bechon Bechon Uchaye Bechon Beit Yisrael Ba'aloha U'bizman Ha'ariv V'imru Amen Yeshmei Rabba Mevorach V'olam Yomei Yomaya Yisborach
יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלה שמי קודשא בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה
Tushbechata v'nechemata Yaniram Yalma V'imru Amen. Bill, do you
I'll try. I could come up and try.
Yamod Maftir Bevel Ben Beryl V'Ika.
That'll be it, yes, man. Thanks for hanging out. I'm gonna try them all. See how I go.
Let Michael give you a hand.
I should be in that. No, don't grab. I am sort of an independent furniture holder. Furniture doesn't like them. Okay, got it. Let me just get it around here. People, I'm moving a lot, so I can't.
You're not as steady as furniture.
Yes, I'm more reliable.
I'm pretty reliable. I haven't dropped you.
I know, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding.
We're on page 747, line 3.
Actually, thank you. Baruch Hu Asher Eloi HaMorach.
Baruch
Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam Voed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Bo Chabonu Mikol Ha'amim V'nosan Lanu Es Toraso Baruch Atah Adonai Nosein HaTorah.
Amen. Im bechukotai telechu ve'et mitzvotai tishmeru v'asitem otam v'natati gishmechem beitam v'nana ha'aretz yevula ve'etz hasadeh yitain piryo v'yisig lachem taish et batzir ubatzir yasig et zara v'achaltem lachmechem lasova v'shavtem labetach be'aretzdechem.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Nosan Lanu Torah Emes V'chayei Olam Natav V'sochenu Baruch Atah Adonai Nosein HaTorah.
Amen. Yasher Kol.
Okay, cool.
Yasher Kolah.
Thank you.
Ready? Yamod Chava Michael Ben Noach V'Rachaleah. Funny? Tamod Ulilah.
Tamod Delilah.
Yehudi.
Yehudi.
Bat Ruven.
Bat Ruvain.
V'Bluma.
Please rise.
Zod HaTorah Asher Sam Moshe L'Bnei Yisrael
We have a blessing today, an extra blessing. Anyone know why? New month coming up. That's right.
Yep, that's good exercise.
So, I won't tell you yet because the new month is announced in the blessing. So let's turn to page 150. And let's start by reading together in English the first paragraph on page 150. May it be your will, Adonai, our God and God of our ancestors, together to reawaken in us joy and blessing in the month ahead. Grant us a long life, a peaceful life with goodness and blessing, sustenance and physical vitality, a life of reverence and piety, a life free from shame and reproach, a life of abundance and honor, a reverent life guided by the love of Torah, a life in which our worthy aspirations will be fulfilled. Amen. שעשה ניסים לאבותינו ואמותינו בגלות המעבדות לחירות, הוא יגאל אותנו בקרוב, ויקבץ נידחינו בארבע כנפות הארץ. חברים כל ישראל ונאמר אמן. ראש חודש סיוון יהיה ביום שלישי הבא עלינו ועל כל ישראל לטובה. The new month of Sivan will be on the third day of the week, which is Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. May it hold blessing for us and for all the people of Israel. Yechashehu HaKadosh Baruch Hu Aleinu Ve'al Kol Amo Beit Yisrael L'chaim U'Shalom Amen. L'sason U'Simcha Amen. Yeshua L'Nechama V'Nomar Amen. And we know when Sivan comes, so does Shavuot. Let's continue now as we prepare to return the Torah to the Ark. We'll be seated, page 151. Let's start with the Ashrei that Chris and Caroline have taught us.
All right. We'll do it. Ashrei,
preparing to return the Torah to the Ark. 153.
Yehalelu et Shem Adonai, Keniskav Shemo Levado. Odo Haaretz B'Shamayim, Vayarem Kerem Li'amot, Tila Lecho Chasidah, Israel, Am Kerovo. Hallelujah, hallelujah.
Shamer Adon Olayim Ramseh Halam
Vaya Kiden Kimoegel Livanum Visir Yah Kilimo Meremi
Kol Adonai Hotzer Lavo Eish Kol Adonai Yahweh Midbar Yahweh Adonai Midbar Kadesh Kol Adonai Yechalel Ayavos
Vaya Chesuf Yerot Kuhe Chalo Kulo Merkavod
Adonai Mahuya Shava Yeshev Adonai Melech Leolam Adonai Oz Li'amo Yitain Adonai Yevarech et Amo B'Shalom
Uvnucho Yomar Ki lekach tov natati lachem Torati el tazovu
Eitz Chaim Li Lemachzikim Ba V'Tom Techa Me'ushar Diracheha Darchei Olam V'Chol Shivotecha Shalom Hashivenu Adonai Elecha Benashua Haresh Haresh Yameinu Haresh Yameinu
So let's take a look at the Torah portion a little bit. Page 744. And there's an expression that happens, I think, only in this Torah portion. And it happens something like 4 times in this Torah portion. And it's right on the top of page 744. V'chi yamuch achicha. And if your kinsman is like found in straits and tough times, in difficulty. If you go to the previous page, 743, and we look at verse 35, there it is again. V'chi yamuch achicha. If your kinsman is in straits. And there's a couple other times it's very similar in this. Yeah, if you look at 742, right at the top. Ki yamuch achicha. So there seems to be a little bit of a theme here, yes? And the theme is, what happens if one of your kinsmen, one of your family, this does not necessarily mean a blood relative. This means someone who's in our congregational family, someone who's in our community where our community feels like a family, right? It's not necessarily blood relatives. What happens when someone like that is facing difficult times? And we're speaking now mostly about financially difficult times, okay? Let's read, would someone read that section from verse 39 on?
Which page?
Page 7:44.
If your kinsman under you continue in straits and must give himself over to you, do not subject him to the treatment of a slave. He shall remain with you as a hired or bound laborer. He shall serve with you only until the Jubilee year. Then he and his children with him shall be free of your authority. He shall go back to his family and return to his ancestral holdings. For they are my servants, whom I freed from the land of Egypt. They may not give themselves over into servitude. You shall not rule over him ruthlessly. You shall fear your God.
Great, actually, right, if you went right there, perfect. Okay? So, this is saying, if someone in the community is having difficult financial times, one of the ways they dealt with it was for that person to then, the service of that person would be bought by someone who would support them in exchange for their service, but not in perpetuity, not forever. They could serve them until the Jubilee year.
But that's every 50 years.
Every 50 years.
The guy is 50 when this happens.
Right. And it depends when, if this happened 3 years before the Jubilee year, it would be for 3 years. You're right. If it happened early on, it could be a longer period of time. But the point is, so that there was a recognition that sometimes there are economic inequalities, and we have to deal with them, but we have to deal with them in a way that doesn't make them permanent. In a society that doesn't have the Jubilee year, then when someone starts being our slave or our servant, that can last forever. Yeah, Bill.
On a smaller scale, in families, immigrant families coming over from Europe many years ago in the early 1900s, if, for example, and there were many people all congregated in one area, all related to each other, God forbid some man didn't make out too well, or he got fired from his job and he needed a few bucks. My mother-in-law had a Yiddish expression, "Madaf gib." That means you had to give. And God, you see him, he's not well, he's not doing well. I want you to give him some money. In this way. Pervaded my family with my mother-in-law. She made the rules. God forbid she didn't conform. So I got my dental practice going. People, the family came to me, they never paid me, but they always came. She said, "Madaf gib, that's my job."
You gotta come, it's my son, you gotta go.
And so that feeling of charitable giving, you couldn't see your relative.
And it comes from here. From here. This is
because we used to congregate families.
Does the Hebrew Free Loan Society, do they have roots in this part of the Torah? Is that where that?
Oh, definitely. I don't think it's this Torah reading, because I didn't look at the whole one to be honest. But it definitely comes straight out of the Torah. It says, it's this Torah reading actually. It's just the Shemitah.
This is the Shemitah.
I think it'll be right in the beginning. This is about the land, but I think it then goes on. Whatever, I'm not sure. I thought it was in this one, but I can't find it right off. But the point is, if we lend someone money, if we lend a kinsman money, we are not allowed to charge interest. We can't charge interest.
Interesting.
We're not supposed. That is, and that's straight out of the Torah, by the way. That's not something that came later. It's straight out of the Torah that we're not supposed to charge another Jew interest, and also that loans didn't have to wait 50 years to be canceled. Loans were canceled in the 7th year. So let's say I lent someone some money, not only can I not charge that person interest, but when the 7-year cycle comes up, that loan is forgiven.
Yeah, well,
And again, it's pretty clear to see at least one reason for this. One reason is clearly what? One reason for the cancellation of loans, one reason for not charging interest, one reason for not keeping someone in slavery.
So that you're not you're not making something out of this, you're doing a mitzvah.
Correct.
You don't want to be getting something out of this, you want to do this for them,
Right.
to help them.
It's for them, right?
Also, it prevents the community from bankrupting another member of the community.
Right? And it tries to avoid perpetual inequality. There are times when inequality, financial inequality, happens to all of us.
Right.
yeah, in fact,
Right? But these are systems to balance that,
Right.
so that, for example, let's say I have to sell my land. Okay, land was the source of income, right? We were an agricultural society. So if I had to sell my land and that was permanent, me and all future generations don't any longer own the means of production, which was land. So what happens in the 50th year? The Jubilee year? All land returns to its original owners. Even though someone else bought it earlier, and they benefit from it for a while, but that's not permanent. It's like in Monopoly, you go back to go and start again. We all get another chance to go back to go and start again.
does it work today? I mean, the laws that are made today, especially by the current president,
Costco and collect 200.
I don't see that in existence, believe me.
Right, they're not in existence. And, well, some of these are in the Jewish community. Some of them are. Not all of them. The thing about not charging interest is in the Jewish community, although we don't all follow it.
The free loan.
And the free loan, exactly right.
For these people.
Exactly
An
right.
extra $100, here it is.
A free loan, no charge.
And it still
It
exists.
still exists, yes.
It's amazing how many years we've had it.
Yeah, in Holyoke, there's one in Springfield.
Yeah.
That is
Free loan.
not uncommon. Or so, let me put it more positively. That is not in every Jewish community, but in many communities, there is a free loan society. And someone, if they need, they need. And they can get the money. And by the way it works is, almost always people pay it back. Yeah, you were going to say something more.
Yes, I don't want to take you off track or interrupt, but I was reading something right here on 744. It's in 39 and 40. They actually differentiate between between treating someone as a slave versus as a hired or bound laborer. So not to treat someone the way you would treat a slave, but with the dignity of a hired or bound laborer. I thought that was a really nice point.
Yes, it is a nice point. Thank you.
Concept.
And it goes to partially why I wanted to show you about the word Eved, which does mean slave. When we looked in the service, we saw that who was called a slave? King David. Who was called a slave? Moses. It could mean slave or it could be servant. So if we have someone who is in a relationship of Eved to us, then we need to remember that Moses was an Eved. David was an Eved. We need to treat that person with care and respect. And in the Talmud it says, if you get yourself an Eved, you've gotten yourself a master. Meaning, it's not just, I can do whatever I want. I have to care for them as well, which is, so, that it is a responsibility. Now, so clearly we can see a reason for an economic reason for why this happens, a social justice reason for why this happens, right? It's pretty clear, it's on the surface. We don't want permanent economic differentiation in our community. It happens, we try to minimize it, and then we try to let everyone start again. But there's a religious reason as well that we read. And it's repeated. If you look on verse 42, for they are my servants, capital M, whom I freed from the land of Israel. They may not give themselves over into servitude, meaning into servitude to a human being. Meaning, Who are they? All of us, the whole Jewish people, are God's servants. So the theological reason is we are all meant to be servants of God. We are not meant to be servants of other humans. We're not meant to enslave or put someone into servitude, and we're not meant to serve that way. Sometimes for a short period of time it's allowed, but the right way of it being are we should be servants to God and not to one another. And in case we didn't get it the first time, just in case, look at verse 55 on the next page. For it is to me that the Israelites are servants. They are my servants whom I freed from the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God. Just in case. It's clear. So there's a theological reason as well as a social justice reason that we are meant to be free people. Free people in terms of one another, and all of us are equally servants in the eyes of God. And so I like that piece too, because and both those things are relevant to here. Michael, I thought
Well,
you
you
were
see in line 44 in the next several lines is the religious justification for slavery and the Jim Crow laws.
Okay, so as you noticed, I skipped that. I skipped it because it muddies the waters, for sure. It says, all right, so in terms of Jews in our Jewish community, this is how we treat others, but it does allow slavery vis-a-vis someone who's non-Jewish. And in my mind, that's very problematic also.
Yeah.
So what do we do with that? I think there's only two ways. It troubles me, too. I want to just share that, period. And I don't want to justify it. Two, however, in that time, in that context, slavery was common. It was not something that was whatever. So we started with eradicating slavery within our family, our extended family. The question is, why didn't we go further? And why didn't we see if God doesn't want us to be slaves, and if God created other people, why shouldn't we respect that as well? And it's a good, troubling question. And please.
Actually, I think it's economics. That's what I think. It's economics. That's why.
Okay. I think that was the economy of the day, and it wasn't challenged here. I think also that you were going to say something?
Well, I was just thinking about the historical context, because there's so much that when we read it from today just is reprehensible.
Yes.
Yeah.
But they weren't where we are. And I think one way that I think about it is all the good that we've taken and applied to modern situations and moving out of that historical context. But whether it's an economic reality or historical reality, we can't expect the world to be the same then as it is today. And that at least helps me deal with some of the really thorny places.
Yes.
To me, it's given the time that during which the Torah was written, it was common practice all over the world. In fact, almost all societies. It was awful, and people. I don't know why people developed those systems. For short-term times, it benefited some people, and then they got trapped in this indentured, and then worse, But you just spoke to that. But I think it's good that we read in Torah that people are grappling with that at the same time period where they don't know what to do with this problem. They're grappling with it. Okay, start with the in-group. How do we want to be treated? Love your neighbor. And okay, this is an ideal. Let's just do this. And then they could live it and present it to larger communities with whom they came in contact.
Yes, very nice. And indeed, even in terms of the non-Jew, the Torah does explicitly say you still have to, yes, they can be slaves, but you can't do certain things
Right.
that other people had done to their slaves. We cannot treat non-Jewish slaves just like they're dirt and not human. So it's better than nothing, ain't perfect, and we start with where we can start and hope to expand it. And this is a thing that gives me some hope, which is from, and I know I've shared this with the congregation before, one of the teachings I love about Judaism, it says, why do we start with Adam and Eve and Noah and all that stuff? Why don't we just start with Abraham and Sarah, just start with the Jewish people, right? We have all this stuff that has nothing to do with Jews. And the answer is given to teach us that all of us have descended from the same God. All of us, all peoples have descended from the same ancestor who's created by that God, Adam and Eve. Right? So we're all, in some sense, bless you, love you. In some sense, we are all part of the same family, real extended family. It's hard sometimes it's easier, let me put this, to see the family we're closest to first.
Yep.
But the Torah already, and the tradition already includes within it the possibility that we could see ever expanding circles of family, until maybe someday we could see everyone as a descendant of Adam and Eve, and everyone as part of the same human family. It's pretty utopian. It's pretty whatever. If we have economic realities. But we also have within us that vision, at least, and that hope. That's a possibility. We live in reality, and we have to deal with some of the things that are not so nice about reality, but we also have a vision that we can try to move forward. And that's the best I can do on how
I just
Go
think
ahead.
that,
One more.
No, I was just going to say, I kind of think that way too, in a way that I kind of think that way too, in that we can't rewrite history. We want history as it is. We want the realities of history, because if we don't have those realities, then we can't move to go forward. If you're living based on all of just the good things and all of just what you want to think was holy and good and all of that, you know what, they weren't perfect. We don't want to live by people that showed only their perfectionism and only their perfectionist ideals and all of that. It's how we can learn from history and how we can learn to live. We don't get that unless we get the full picture. So,
Thank you. This is good grappling with this question. So certainly within our family, and hopefully our family can become wider and wider. Page 182, Ein Kelohenu. I see I don't even have to ask Brielle to come up because she is on her way. כתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונלך וחיה אדוני, ונלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו This week we recall William Shirley, Sheila Halpern, Anna Goodman Samuel, Rachel Saltman, Lloyd Everett Stein, Harold Haley, Russell Bernstein. Mourners Kaddish, page 184. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shenei rabba, Ya'amad yivrach Yerushay, Ya'amid malchutay, V'chayechon v'yumlechon, V'chayech kol beit Yisrael, V'hagala v'yizman kariv v'yimru amen. Yehei shnei rabba mivorach le'olam l'amei amen. Yisbarach, Yishabach, Yisbahar, Yisraman, Yisnaseh, Yitzadar, Yitzalev, Yitzalal, Shemei Kusha, Rehu, Le'elah, Yikol, Birchata, V'shirata, Tushkachata, V'nechamosha, Amen. Yehei Shlomo Rabba Mishmaya, V'chaim Aleinu V'yakol Yisrael V'yimru Amen. Oseh Shalom V'rumav, Hu Yaseh Shalom, Aleinu V'yakol Yisrael V'yimru Amen. Joan, some announcements for us.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody, everyone who's here, everyone who's watching from home. We wish you actually a safe, warm today. Shabbat Shalom. It's kind of nasty out there, but it's good for the plants. It's good. For everyone where it is appropriate, I wish you a happy Mother's Day and hope that tomorrow you have a delightful day, possibly with your family. Our next event in the coming week is our board meeting is at 7:30 on Wednesday evening here at the synagogue. And 1 week from today, next Saturday, is Erev Shavuot. And that's our Leil Shavuot study evening, beginning at 8. We need lots of people at this point to come and sign up and make this the wonderful evening that it always is. So I'm going to bring a Tanakh down to Kiddush with me, and people can look through it. Please make your choices, and for those of you at home, if you would like to be part of this next Saturday, please let me know. We've expanded beyond the Tanakh, so we can look at that too. And at the end of all of this, next Saturday night, you are rewarded with a huge reward, some people feel. Ice cream and the ability to make your own sundae. So,
Can I just say that Brielle wants to make milkshakes too?
oh,
So-
okay.
So we'll have the ice cream to do it, obviously. So.
Yes, yeah, yeah. In a PJ Library book, Brielle found a recipe for Shavuot milkshakes, so she's going to
Wow.
be featuring that. I'm sorry, I
Yeah,
kind of
no, that's
I
okay.
forgot to announce that. Kate's Kitchen is going to be on the 27th, so if you're involved in Kate's, it's over Memorial Day weekend, the Sunday of Memorial Day weekend. Take advantage of Kate's Kitchen. And Yisker for Shavuot will be on Monday the 21st, Monday, May 21st. That would be a week from tomorrow, a week from this coming Monday. And that's at 10 o'clock in the morning for Yisker during Shavuot. And our annual meeting is going to be the last Sunday in June. When you'll get lots more, it's just remember that. I think that I have included everything. So, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Oh, I'm sorry. There was one more thing I wanted to. I'm sorry. Oh, yeah. On your way downstairs, please give some thought to this, and if we want to, we can talk about it. We have some wonderful plants that have been delivered to the garden, and we should get them in the ground. And we do have a plan for everybody to come gardening on Sunday at 10:30 in the morning. However, the next 2 Sundays really are not going to be official gardening Sundays. It's Mother's Day and then it's Shavuot. So if someone has some time during the week, if we can try to organize a little bit of planting and a little bit of planning where we want the plants to go. We need people who know what they're doing in the garden. Think about it.
It's totally not me. I've got a black thumb.
Do folks know the song Yerushalayim Shel Zahav?
No.
Let me just sing a little bit of it and tell me if it's familiar.
Is it in the
Ya la 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 Yerushalayim. So in honor of Yerushalayim Shel Zahav, Jerusalem of gold, Adon Olam Hashem Malach B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra Ve'nasa V'chefsa Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam Hashem Malach B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra Ve'nasa V'chefsa Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Ve'acharei Kifrot HaKol Levado Yimloch Nora Ve'hu Haya Ve'hu Hoveh Ve'hu Yi'eh B'Tifara Ve'hu Echad Ve'en Sheni Le'hamshilo Le'achbira B'li Reshit B'li Tachli B'lo Ha'oz B'ha'misra Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra Ve'nasa V'chefsa Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra Yetzur Kevli Be'etzara Behunisi Umanosi Menakosi Beyom Ekra Be'ado Avki Ruchi Be'etishan Be'aira Ve'im Ruchi Geviati Adonai Li Ve'lo Ira Adonai Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra Le'ein Asa V'chefzo Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra Le'ein Asa V'chefzo Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra. Shabbat Shalom. And also, the chorus, if anyone wants to do some singing after lunch a little bit, on Jerusalem, on Torah songs for Shavuot, we'll be doing a little bit. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.